Hi, everyone. I am Rhonda with Sawgrass. I am the education manager here, and thank you for joining us for our Learn with Sawgrass workshop. And so it is our first session of 2025, and things are going to look a little different this year. All of our Wednesday sessions, they will be at 3 p.m. Eastern right now, and then we'll jump to 2 p.m. Eastern in February. But they will all be with me. So we will have a different series we'll cover each week. So this week, we're really going to dive into what is one of my favorite features in our software. And then next week, we're going to get into what I call our business builder sessions. So we're going to talk about partnering with other small businesses in your area. And what that can look like, how that can help grow your business. So that'll be our feature next week. And then the following week, we actually are going to do something that was requested of me, which I am going to walk through our Chroma Blast ink solution. So we're going to demo that for you, show you some tips and tricks on if you do have a Chroma Blast printer. And then the end of the month, we're going to talk a little bit about our education team and some of the things that we have coming up. So with all that in mind, we are going to go ahead and jump in. But again, welcome. All right. So I thought now would be a really good time. Hold on for me. I don't know that I did that right. Yeah. Okay, I just want to make sure that you're seeing my screen correctly. All right, so I thought now would be a good time, as we're approaching the sunset for our old software, I just wanted to go through what I think is one of the highlight features, one of the great new features that we have in our design tool, and really show you how to use that and use that to your advantage. So that's what we're going to do today, and we're going to jump in and look at that. But I just want to, as I go through, I'll answer some questions that I know I'm hearing pretty regularly just to make sure everyone understands. So both our creative software, which was web-based, and our desktop application for print management are both sunsetting at the beginning of February, so less than a month now. And in their place, we do have a new design tool. It is the design tool within MySawgrass that will be web-based as the previous one was. And then you have that print utility, the Sawgrass print utility, which is a download onto your system, just as the old print manager was as well. So as far as how you interact with them or how you get to them, none of that is going to change for you. So I am on the Sawgrass Inc. website. I'm going to go ahead and click on my Sawgrass and jump right in. And I'm going to log in as well. Okay. So this is my Sawgrass. I'm going to go ahead and hit design, which is going to launch that design tool for me. Just to let you know, if you are still needing to download the Sawgrass print utility, which I will show you a little bit today, just to show you where it is and what it looks like, you would hit print. So going into print will give you that download. I'll go ahead and show you. I'm on a Mac, so it says Mac. If you're on Windows, it's going to say Windows, but that is where you would go to download that tool. But we're going to go ahead and jump into design. Now, as our creative software has always done, you're going to start with the product that you're going to create on. So I'm actually going to start with a mug for this one. So I'm going to choose my mug, and it is going to open for me. And then I'm going to go into elements today because what I want to highlight for you is our new section in our elements called shapes. And I want to look at shapes from a few different ways and a few different ways that you can use them. So within our elements, I am going to go to shapes. And you're going to see that these are broken up into several segments. So there are basic shapes. Those are free. They are available for everyone to use. I'll hit more and kind of show you what all of those shapes look like. You will see also that we have what we call these specialty shapes. And most of these specialty shapes, you're seeing a little diamond icon. Now, we do, for the most part, all of the features within the design tool are free. The only one at this time that is at part of that MySawgrass Plus subscription is going to be adding your own fonts. So uploading your own fonts into the program is the only feature that's going to be included in that subscription. Otherwise, what you're going to get is a large amount of really great artwork, and that's going to be both completed designs, graphic elements that you can add, background patterns, and then these shapes. Now, there are also some fonts, and I'm going to show you one today, hopefully, that you're going to see is that MySawgrass Plus subscription. So any of those are going to have a diamond icon. Now, the beauty of the way this works is if I were to add something with a diamond and I can see it, I can design with it, I can see how it looks in my project, but before I print, I will be prompted to upgrade. So one of the support tickets that we see, one of the things that I hear as I sit in on workshops is people saying that they're being told that they have to pay to print. That's because you're using something that had that diamond on it, something that is that upgraded content. So just be kind of aware of that. If you delete whatever that was the upgraded content, you can continue. But we do right now have a really great special. Our MySawgrass Plus subscription is only $12.95 per month. Much lower than the $19.95 that we've had for a very long time. So it is currently $12.95. And as of today, there is a 28-day free trial. So I will show you at the end how you can get into that trial and try it out. But you can try it out for 28 days, see if it is something that is useful to you and that you're liking using that upgraded content. And then if not, you can always cancel that before you get charged. But as of today, it has gone from a 7-day trial to a 28-day trial. And I get to be the first one to tell you about that. All right, so we do have those specialty shapes as I was talking about. Lots of holiday ones here that are really great. You will see, and when I talk about the states in just a second, the same thing is going to apply to this one, which is that bear, because there are so many great art designs that you can create using this bear, whether it's mama bear or papa bear or baby bear. Whether it's one bear or a family of bears, there's a lot you can do with that bear. So when I talk about the states, it's going to be the same concept here with the bear. You are going to see letters, which we're going to come back and grab some of these in a little bit, and I'm going to show you some ways that you can use that. And then we are going to talk about the states. Now, this was recently added. Really excited. This actually came out from Rhodes, who does our onboarding sessions. He suggested that this be added, and we were able to quickly get that in there. So I'm actually going to use my state today, which is South Carolina. Now, I am on a mug, and I'm going to, anytime you have something active on your design area, you are able to zoom in. So I'm going to zoom in because I want to show you something. You are seeing this little green, I'm going to call it an arch above and below the area. And that's going to say this is the center of one side of the mug. Because mugs are the one thing where we definitely are always talking about doing one side or we're doing the other side of the mug. So this is going to be pretty much centered right on those lines. I will show you the preview in a little bit so you can see how that looks. But my state of South Carolina is pretty centered. Now I'm going to do my state of South Carolina and what I consider to be the traditional colors for South Carolina, which is going to be state I'm going to do South Carolina blue hex code because our flag, if you've never seen it, is this navy blue. Now, here's the thing. You are seeing Carolina blue. Carolina blue is from the state of North Carolina, and it's this nice little pale blue. I'm actually looking for this darker blue. So I'm going to go in and click on that. And I'm going to click on it. It's actually going to copy it. This is kind of a cool little website I found that does that for you. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to click on my state of South Carolina and I'm going to go to my colors. And I'm just going to put in that hex code. And there is my South Carolina blue. Now you are seeing there is also black. That is the outline of the state. I don't need an outline on the state here, so I'm just going to hit remove. And it's going to delete that outline all around, so I no longer have it. It's just my state. I could have just taken this to 0 as well, but either one of those methods will work. So there's my state of South Carolina. And I'm going to add some text. Now, this is one of my favorite things about the text here. I'm going to do that really popular word home. And then I'm going to look at my font style. Now, this is where, and I'm actually going to do a blog later this month on this, but this is where our search features really come in handy, especially when we talk about the fonts, because I can go into this filter and I am looking for a script font. So I can hit apply and it's only going to show you those fonts that are in that script category. Now I told you that there are some fonts that do have that diamond. I just want you to see where that diamond is. And I'll go ahead and click that just so you can kind of see it. I am going to choose this font today. And remember to hit done. I messed this up a few times already this morning. Now the South Carolina state flag is going to be white and blue. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Put in my hex code for white. Remember to hit done. And now I can put my home wherever I want that on the state. This is probably a good time to hit preview. Now, one of the things that I hear a lot is, Rhonda, we no longer have a 3D preview. Now, 3D preview only works on a few things. It did work on the mugs. You are able to see both the front and the back of the mug. We're looking at some other ways to preview mugs that may work better for you. But this is all I really need to see is that I can see that that is centered and everything looks good. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lasso everything. And then I'm just going to hit my duplicate button and copy this on over. So there is my state of South Carolina. And then I am going to go ahead and hit save and print because I do want to save it. You do have to give it a name. I'm going to save that into my mugs. And that is going to save and it will open up in my product detail page in just a second. This is one of the more popular ways that you see the states used. You'll see them with words like home. You'll see often now there's a really popular design where you'll have two states where it's two people who are in different places. Any of those are things that you can design in this fashion. We're going to go ahead and let this save and open up for me. You'll often, we are in South Carolina, so we have hurricanes, so you'll see things like South Carolina Strong during those periods. So this is really a popular design if you're doing a lot of mugs to have. Now, I am going to go through how to post this for sale just so you, actually I'm not, I'm just going to save this one. But we will post another one for sale in just a few minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a description. Even though I'm not putting this in my store right at the moment, it is still good to kind of have a description on there, just so I know what it is. And then I can always go in and edit this later. And then I'm going to go hit save. Now, if you've been with us for a while and you did use Creative Studio, you will know that Creative Studio always did a save as function. So if I were to open this mug up again, and I were to hit save, it is going to save a second copy. So if I were to go in and make a change, or if I wasn't done editing, it's just going to save another one. So I would end up with 2 copies of this in my saved files. And I do get asked a lot, Rhonda, where do my saved files go? If you were to click on your name, it is going to bring you here. I am in my studio. My store is that selling store that I could share with people. I didn't put that there. I put this here in my studio, but products from either place is going to work exactly the same. So this is in my studio. I'm going to click on this and I'm going to open it in the designer again because I want to do a little something different with it. Now, I'm actually not going to do that because I want to do a variation. So this is a situation where if I were to hit open in designer and I were to hit save, it would save this over. And since I'm going to do something slightly different, I want to make sure I have both. So instead of hitting open in designer, I am actually going to hit my design button, go back in like I did before to create a new product. I am going to choose a 15-ounce mug. Now, instead of designing from scratch, I'm going to go to my galleries because the first time I hit save and gave it a category, that's exactly where it went, was my gallery. So I'm going to go into my gallery. I'm going to go into my designs. I know I saved that into my mugs. This will take just a minute to go through everything and find that, and it did. So I'm just going to click on that and it's going to open it. Now, one of the other things that you can do when you have a state like this or one of those state outlines is I'm actually going to click it. And so if you haven't spoken to me before, I actually started on our support team. I started with our care team over 6 years ago now. And one of the questions that I was asked, both in original Creative Studio and the last Creative Studio, is, can I take my picture and turn it into the shape of a heart? And unfortunately, the answer to that question was no. But you can do this with the shapes. So I have my shape highlighted. I'm going to go in down here where it says use this as a mask. And then I'm going to hit upload and I'm going to grab a photo. And I'm going to hit open. And now a scene of South Carolina is actually in my state of South Carolina. Now I've clicked on it again and I can go in and compress that, which just means make it smaller. And then we'll move it up, make it 1 click bigger so it fits perfectly. And then there is my picture in my state of South Carolina. Now you may have noticed that my text went away because once I started working on the state, it moved it to the front. But I can go into my layers panel and I'm going to click on the word home. That's the right one. You see it highlighted behind. I'm going to de-highlight that and click this one. You see that's the other home. So I'm going to click on this one and I'm just going to hit this button to bring it forward. So now home is on top of my state of South Carolina. Now you will notice with my state, it does have that outline. One thing that would be really smart here is actually clicking on that stroke color and changing that back to my blue. And then I'm going to go back and I'm actually going to make that a little bit thicker. And now I have my nice South Carolina blue on my mug. And so I have my home two ways, both with the state of South Carolina, and then I have it here with home over it. So I'm going to save and print on this again. It says, hey, is this South Carolina home mug? It is, but I'm going to do home mug picture, and I'm going to save that as new. And we are going to talk a little bit about the store on this one. This is a really great one for me because I do dabble in photography on the side. I have lots and lots of pictures of my state. So this would be a great thing for me to do, to come in and do that and add those state of South Carolina products. But you really could do this for every state. And that can actually be part of your description if you're adding this to the store, where you said you could do the same product for any state. So then people can reach out to you. You are social selling this with people that you know. And because you are doing that, you could share that and they could reach out to you quite easily if they wanted to do it, but with a different state. There we go. It is into my area. Now, if I do have anyone who is from overseas or in Canada, this is currently in the US only, that you have this store feature, but we will walk through it. And if you are not in the US, you're not seeing all of these same features on this page. Okay. Now, here is where you set your price. You are noticing there is a minimum. I can't go below that. That is the price that we have found gives you a good amount of profit. You are both the seller, the store owner, and you are the producer. So when that order is placed, it's coming right back to you for you to produce. And so you are getting both the seller share and the producer share. But that $19.95 on this 15-ounce mug, make sure that you are making your money, and making profit and not just covering expenses. And so that's why there is a minimum. Now with this, because one side of this mug actually has my photography on it, I could charge extra for this if this was a really special photo. It's not. I'll leave the price. But you notice that I can choose which side is going to be featured. And so I have featured this side, but I could change it to the other side. And then what I'm actually going to do is create a look. So I'm going to come in and I am going to find one of these great looking mugs on a nice background. We call them a lifestyle image. So I'm going to choose my lifestyle image. I'm actually going to feature that. Now, you notice there were both left mugs and right mugs. If I'd chosen a left side, I would have got the left side of the mug. Right side, I would have gotten the other. So in this case, this is the side I'd rather feature. So I have done that. But if someone went through all of the images, they would see both sides. All right, so that is all set. Now you can have this be able to be customized. So if I choose customize, I get to make some really great choices. And that is, how much can someone change it? Now, if I didn't want them to change that blue South Carolina at all, I could lock it. It is fine if they change the text. I may want to say it has to stay white. So I may lock that. That picture, they're free to change that picture to another one that works for them. And then again, I don't really care about that because they may change the photo and they may need it to be a different color. So I'm going to hit post for sale. And this is going to add it to my store. We're going to get that added to our store so you can see what that looks like. Now, when I'm in my store, I'm going to have a couple of options. You are the one who is selling. It is your store and you are sharing links. You do have a couple of choices. I'm going to go to my store so you can see it. You are able to share the store. So if I were to copy the link for this or load this to Facebook, someone is coming here and they're seeing all of my products. Or I could just go into the specific product and share it, and then they are only getting that specific product. Now I am going to show you while we are here. If I were to share this link with someone, this is what they're going to get. So they are going to come right here to this page. You will see they can hit customize. And this is going to take them into a version of the design tool, but this is a version that's actually going to be phone friendly. So they can actually come in and you see this little upload button. They can click on this and they can upload their own photo to go in the state of South Carolina. Hopefully. Okay. Well, I may just be hurrying through this, or there may be an issue, but I will go ahead and look at this when I am off the call and see why that's not letting me hit that button to upload that image. Maybe I clicked something wrong too. But that is where they would go to click on that and just upload a file from their computer. All right. Okay, so just to show you, I do have the version of the mug here that I did put for sale. And then back in my studio, I do have my original still that I could go with. Now, I decided, and I'd already kind of decided, that I wanted to do this design a little bit different. So I'm going to click here. And I'm actually going to open it in the designer because I want to save over this. I want to go in a little bit of a different direction. If I just wanted to move it, I could just hit manage those post details and make any changes there. But I'm going to open it in the designer because I want to make a change and I want to show you something else. All right. So here is my mug. I am going to go ahead and get rid of my word home for now. I am going to actually get rid of this South Carolina. All right. So I'm going to add another South Carolina. And if you've ever been to the state of South Carolina, you would know that we have really three very distinctive areas. We have the upstate, the Midlands, and then the low country. In the low country, we do have beaches. In the Midlands, we have more of it's not really marshy area, but we have the cypress trees and the cypress swamps. And in the upstate, we're going to have a little bit of mountains. Now, I don't have a mountain photo, but I do have a couple of very different aspects of South Carolina. So I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bit smaller. Put this guy over here, and I'm going to use it as a mask. Now, I want to do the same thing as I did before with that outline. So I'm going to actually come in here and change that color. It is not showing me my used colors. So it would be here underneath my used colors, but it's not really working for me. So we'll go ahead and change that a little bit later. But I am going to go back and I'm going to click on this and I'm going to use this as a mask. And I'm going to upload another picture of South Carolina. Okay. I'm going to go with this picture. I'm going to put that right in there. And then I would go in and I would size that the way I want it to fit in South Carolina. Make that all nice and pretty. I know you can't really see it, but those are actually a bunch of pelicans. And then I could go in and change that stroke color. There we go. And this should be the color that is showing is the last color I added. But that's not actually the right blue. So I'm going to go with this one for now. Hit done, increase that stroke, and be set and ready to go. Now I'm going to do one more South Carolina. I'm going to click in the right spot this time. Elements, shapes, go back, down, and add my South Carolina one more time. And then I can have a very unique mug that is very South Carolina oriented. And you're noticing it's showing the size on the side. So all I'd have to do is click on one of these, get the dimensions, and then do the same thing for this one. I'm going to use that as a mask. Put one more photo of South Carolina in there. And I would do a different one, of course. And then I could update that product, and now I have South Carolina 3 ways. But I did want to show you one other way that you could use these shapes. And this is kind of another cool one. So I'm going to go in and I am going to click on the right thing. And I'm going to go ahead and click on Texas this time. And Brett, who does all of our content curation for our design tool, he's the one who's been helping me out and adding the shapes I wanted. He actually made this suggestion. So I'm going to go in and use this as a mask. And I actually have the Texas state flag, just a PNG of the flag that I can put in there. I'm going to click on it and make that smaller and make that fit. I make sure it's probably would go over with this to get that kind of part bigger. And this is another great thing that you can do with these shapes is use it, add that state flag in there and really make it customized because these were so popular and a really great thing to have in your store to sell. All right, so I do have another series that I want to show you, but before I do, does anyone have any questions? I've been doing a lot of talking. All right, let's jump right back in. Okay. So I'm going to jump all the way out on this one and discard this, and we're going to go with a different product this time. I'm going to do 2 variations on this to kind of show you how you could do this. But I'm going to choose a tote bag, and I'm going to make something for Grandma because as long as I can remember, it's been really popular to do these projects for Grandma where it's, you know, Grandma's honey pots or Grandma's garden or whatever it may be. And I'm going to do a variation on Grandma's garden today. So I'm going to go back into these elements and back into my shape. And we do have these really great flowers that you can use. So I'm going to do a flower. Zoom in on this. Now, you can do this a couple of different ways. Often you'll see just using this as the flower, just as we did this, the state of South Carolina, just making this a nice color and then putting the grandkids' names over it. Maybe the name and the age could go on there as well. Another thing that I was playing around with is using these and putting in photos of the grandkid as well. So I'm going to go in and grab one of my photos. And I'm zooming in pretty close to this just so I can see this well. But I'm going to click on this flower. I can compress this, make her smaller. And then I'm actually going to move her over to the side. And so by doing this, her face is kind of in one side of this. Now I'm going to go into my stroke color and I'm actually going to use one of the colors that we've put in here. So I'm going to use this pretty pink as kind of an outline on my flower. I'm going to hit done and I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Now to really make this look like a flower, I'm actually going to go in and I'm going to grab another shape. And this time I'm just going to grab a circle. Let's zoom in a little closer. Make this smaller, a lot smaller. And put this right on top. I'm going to move this to the center. Grab that little move icon, comes in really handy right now. Make this smaller still. Yep, and I'm going to just center it, move that right to the middle of that flower. And I'm going to make this that same color. And now I have my little flower. Now, of course, you notice there's that outline. We don't need that, so I'll remove it. And now I have my flower, and I could do a flower for each grandkid. I could put a name on it. But I came up with a little bit of a different idea while I was playing with this too. So here's this great flower. I could do grandma's garden and make this all pretty. I do want to show you one other thing with this though, because one thing that I think makes this unique is going in and adding the kid's name. So we're going to call her Bella. Now, I showed you earlier where you could filter and you could actually go in and choose different font styles. You actually can search by keyword. So I don't have to know the name of the font. I just know that I want a kid-like font. And I can go in and everything that's been tagged with that is going to show up. So I could go in and change my font. Make this smaller and put that underneath her flower. And then I could even go in and change the color of that. We're going to use that same pink and put that there. And now I have my Bella with her name and everything. Now, I really like this concept. I do like using the photos. It is a little hard though to get a photo that works perfectly in the flower. I got a few this morning that worked, but I know it's not the easiest. And sometimes you may not want to put the kid's name or the kid's picture for everyone to see. So I thought of another way that we could do this, and I think this is really adorable. I'm going to call this Grandma's Gallery. Again, I can go into this font style and I can look for some fonts that work well for this. Let's see. Oh, I like that one. Should be a Grandma's Gallery. I can choose a color and everything a little bit later on. But I'm going to go ahead and grab this, move this to the top. And then I'm actually going to go in and use a little bit of a different one of our shapes. So I'm going to go back into these specialty shapes. And there's this one that to me looks like kind of like a brush stroke, like painting. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. Add this here. And then what I'm going to add is not a photo of the child. I'm going to add some of the kids' artwork. So I'm going to go in and grab some artwork that I have that a child drew. Put that in here. I'm going to size that to fit. And then the great thing about this is not only would I add the kid's name, I'm going to add the kid's age. So Grandma's Gallery is going to feature artwork from each of her grandkids and tell you how old they were when they made it. And I think that's a really great thing. We've done it at our house with Christmas. We have these Christmas trees that were made with the handprints, and I did them on canvas. We display them each year. My niece, who is now 21 years old, we have some artwork that she did when she was 9. So it's a really fun way just for Grandma to have a bag that has a piece of her grandkids with her. Now, I did promise that we would go ahead and send this over to the print utility, because I'm just going to highlight a couple of features over there. And then we'll come back for one more project. Now it is saving my design and preparing to print it. So I will go ahead and hit print file and let that open up for me. Now, one thing, and this is very important, you're going to notice that I have to give the program permission to open. Anyone who is telling me that they're having issues where the program's not opening, I bet you have a blocker that's not allowing this to pop up. So mine did. I am going to hit open. It is going to open for me. And this is what the print utility looks like if you haven't installed it yet. So here is that file. Now, this was a tote bag. So that is a rather large piece. It is going to be 12 by 13. It's not going to fit on my 8.5 by 11. But here's what I tell you. You really don't have to worry about it too much because the design can be as big or as small as you want on something like a tote bag. So I can fit this to my 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. I could actually go down and make this landscape as well, kind of change the dimensions a little bit, and change that up for how I want it to be. I can also center that on the page. This is something that we originally didn't have in the software, but a lot of people told us that they like to go in and rip around the edges when they were pressing on the polyester. So we did the center so they could do that. Now, there is one specific thing that I want to make sure and I show you because I think it's very, very important. And that is this, which is the presets. So when we designed the print utility, we know there are a lot of people who are just opening it up in the print manager and hitting print without choosing the right settings. So by going in here, we have the settings already programmed for you. So I can go in. I always just, if it is a canvas tote bag, I'm going to choose canvas tote bag. If it's any other fabric, I'm probably just going to do a polyester t-shirt. But I'm going to do that canvas tote bag. It's going to change all my settings to be what they need to be. And then I'm able to print and know that that's going to give me the best results possible for that. All right, now we're going to jump back over into the design tool because I want to show you one more project. And before I do that, I'm actually going to sign out because I'm going to log into a different account just want to show you something. All right. So this is another account that I have. This is not an account that is DesignMate Plus, or sorry, MySawgrass Plus, went with the old name there. But it is not a MySawgrass Plus account. So I'm gonna hit design. Let's see what we want to do. I am going to go down. And I could just search as well, which would make this a lot faster. Which looks like I probably should have. All right. There we go. So here is a pillow, and I want to show you one other thing that you can do with shapes. I wanted to show you that message that I was talking about earlier. So you will see that it has popped up. I am not a member. I can start my free trial. I'm going to hit X for now. And then we'll go to my elements and I'm going to go to my shapes. And I'm actually going to do a word. So you see there are 3 different types of fonts that we have. I'm actually going to go in and use this bubble font. I think it's adorable. Now you're noticing I have that message up that's telling me I'm using something that is that upgraded content. I'm going to go ahead and note that my letter is 4.5 inches tall. Just so I remember that. I'm going to use this as a mask. Now I'm going to upload. I have some papers in here. So I'm going to use that as my pattern. I'm going to zoom in. I love this zoom feature. Lets me get in and look at that. And so there's my L. I'm going to go ahead and add another one just so you can see it. Now, we did say how tall this was. I could just go in and change that. There it is. Drag it down. I actually grabbed the wrong spot and made that taller than I wanted it, but I can shorten that back up. Make that my 4.5. And then I can go in and I can use a different paper, the same paper that I have saved. I'm going to use a different one. It's going to look a little bit different. And I could do that and do my whole word love. Now I'm going to click on this. Make that the way I wanted to. And then I'm going to hit print just so you can see. It should give me that message eventually that I need to upgrade. And I will do that. But I want to show you the other way that you can get to the same spot. So I'm going to go out. And if you go down to your account settings underneath your picture, And you go down to billing and payments. This is where it's going to tell me it's my $12.95 with your 28-day trial. Now, when you click on this, it doesn't have any information filled out, so all of this is blank. But as I start this, I'm just going to pick a random address. It's going to go in and you see that my total due today is 0. And then after the trial, it would be the $14.12 with the tax. I can go ahead and add in my credit card and everything else, hit pay. It's not going to charge me today. I have my 28-day free trial ahead of me. All right. So I hope you saw some great ways to use shapes in the new design tool. Are there any other questions you have for me, or have you played with shapes? And have you found some other ways to use them that I didn't demo today?
Rhonda, really quick, for people who were using Creative Studio and subscribed to Premium, could you go over the requirements so that translates to a Plus account when they make the switch?
Yeah, so when you join the new programs, thank you for the question, Lori. When you go into the new programs, you do need to create a new account. They are off of two databases, two different databases, but as long as you use the same email. So whatever email you used with your Creative Studio account that has that premium, if you create a new account in the new program with the same email, it automatically comes over for you. All right. So any other questions or any other comments today?
I'll just make a list of shapes to send over.
Hey, you only get that privilege once, Lori. You got your free ones today. You got your quick clover and teardrop today. That's all you get. That's all you get. Shapes are a lot easier to add for us. If you ever do need a template added, just reach out to our care team at care.sawgrassinc.com. They'll send you that form. And when I say template, that is you need a tumbler that's a different size than one we already have, or you need a product that we don't already have in there. They can send you the form and we can get those added. That takes the longest because we do have to do a lot of background work to add those templates. So that usually takes 4 to 6 weeks typically. Generally, if it's something that we easily have the shapes available, shapes we can add really, really fast. If you just were to send an email, typically we get that done for you. Otherwise, we do product drops every month at the beginning of the month. Project cards are going to be a little late this month. They'll be around next week. But we do have some project or new artwork for Valentine's Day that we've already added in. You'll see those project cards on that next week. So generally right at the beginning of the month, you'll see that. Typically I will be doing a blog every week. That's the project cards this week. So you'll see those next week. I also have a really, really exciting and interesting interview that I'm going to be posting. It's one that I've had in my pocket for quite a while and we haven't figured out how to use it. So we'll be posting that next week, which is really, really exciting. And then we'll be releasing quick tip videos to our YouTube channel every Thursday. So I will be loading both this recording into the Learn with Sawgrass folder in the Sawgrass Academy. And then we also will be adding a couple of one new quick tip video, but it's a really good one. So that'll be going up tomorrow as well. So that's it for me for this week. I hope you come back next week. Just sign up and join us. And otherwise, have a great week, guys. Bye-bye.